once again live from DePrima Production Studios in Basking Ridge, New Jersey. It's the Michael Show with Michael DePrima. Yay, okay. Maybe someday I'll get a laugh track audience. Maybe someday I'll have an actual audience. Maybe someday when I have a studio big enough that isn't my man cave to actually have a guest sit here with me. Maybe someday. So, thank you for tuning in tonight. Welcome to The Michael Show with Michael DePrima. I am Michael DePrima. And tonight's guest is a very, very, very special one. We will get to her in a moment. But first, uplifting news. This article starts with Florida Man. Now, anyone knows the internet Florida Man shtick. You go to Google, you type in Florida Man and your birthday, and usually some wacky thing pops up. I encourage you to do it. It's usually pretty funny. Yeah. This one starts with Florida Man gives $10,000 tip. So this is pretty awesome. This week, a man in Florida went into a diner, one of his favorite restaurants, and he gave a $10,000 tip, and he told the owner to disperse it $500 apiece to all the employees. And, you know, that's some pretty good uplifting news. I think we can all aspire, hopefully, to be that person one day. And how sweet would it be to be that person waiting on that gentleman who got that $500 tip or $10,000 tip. All right. Without further ado, I'm going to conference in my number one guest, one of my favorite people in the world. There she is. Hey, babe.
Hello.
All right.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good.
Okay. So, yes, she is right upstairs. She is here in our home, but like I said, my studio is not big enough to have her just yet. So she's coming to us via Google Duo. How you doing, babe?
I'm doing well. How are you doing in the basement?
I'm doing very, very well. Thank you so much. Okay, so we're going to talk about the New Jersey school system. We're going to talk a little bit about virtual learning, as they call it. That's what they've dubbed it? They've dubbed it virtual learning?
So at first, my district, they had called it distance learning, but now they're saying it's virtual learning. So going with virtual learning.
Gotcha. Okay. So what is it? Please explain.
So essentially...
for those who don't know, first of all, Lauren is a speech language pathologist, which is basically a speech therapist, right, hon? Did I get that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm.
She's a speech language pathologist working in the school system of New Jersey. She works in a middle school. Go ahead, hon. Tell them.
Wait, which one? What do I tell them?
Go about virtual learning.
Okay. So basically the first time we started to hear about it was probably, I don't know, like mid-February, I want to say. But then about 2 weeks ago on a Thursday, we all got an email saying that the next day was going to be the last day for the kids. And then Monday we would all be coming in for professional development so that we could figure out how to do this whole virtual learning thing, because that was going to start the next day on Tuesday. So basically is
this for everyone for the most part? I mean, probably elementary school.
No, they're all doing it.
They're all trying to do it in New Jersey?
Yeah, they're all doing it. So, I mean, everyone's doing it in different ways. Like even just within a school, teachers are doing it differently, but the administration is setting up kind of guidelines for what they want to see. So we use the Google platform, Google Drive, Hangouts, Classroom, all of that stuff. So we've all been using Google Hangouts and Google Meet to do video sessions with students or video lessons. Teachers are recording lessons and posting them to Google Classroom. They'll post assignments. Students can turn them in. It's basically we're trying to keep it as close to how it would be if they were at school while not being at school. Mm-hmm. So it's helpful that the students were using those platforms anyway already, so they were familiar with them. with the exception of their email accounts, because I swear no student checks their email. So
I didn't
now
check
that,
my email until
yeah.
college, so I get that.
But the fun part has been having to train middle school students to check their emails while not with them. So you're trying to get them to check their emails, but they aren't checking their emails, so it's just tricky to get in touch with them. But that's what parents are for. So I do give parents a ton of credit, because they just got dubbed teachers and parents all at the same time. It's crazy.
Yeah, so now parents are stuck at home trying to watch their kids manage their learning, all while most of them probably working from home.
Yeah.
So, hey, hats off to you parents. If you're parents with young kids or even kids in high school, this is a difficult time, and God bless you for getting through it. So,
seriously,
question for you, Lauren. I know you said to me previously that some students you find are actually receiving this virtual learning much better than they are in regular classes.
Yeah, so for me, because I'm a speech therapist, so my stuff looks a lot different than like a classroom teacher's maybe day or lessons would look. Because first of all, people get a little confused as to what I work on in the schools with kids. Usually they think I just work on like speech sounds and stuff, but actually most of what I do is working on kids with a language disorder or impairment. So they have a deficit in vocabulary or grammar or both, or reading comprehension, listening comprehension, written expression, oral expression, word retrieval, like just anything related to the, language and the way that we speak, and understanding that. So that's most of what I do. So I do a lot of like inferences and main idea and stuff like that. But I do work with kids who have articulation errors, like R or S or Z, all that fun stuff.
So like what someone would call an impediment or a lisp, things like that. Are there other terms that we don't know?
Technically, it's an articulation impairment or disorder. If we were to get into the specifics of delay, disorder, impairment, it's like not worth it. But it's articulation. That's the area that we're talking about. So I had like 3 or 4 of those sessions today. And I actually am finding that those kids are doing better. So that's been really interesting, because I think them having so much time at home to practice and having the focus on them, like I'm in the session with them and with their parents. So I'm talking to both of them in time. So they're able to kind of make it so much more of a priority, which has been awesome. Like they're making really good progress. I was like, this is great. So that's been really, really good. But some of my language kids, it's been tricky to get a hold of them, and they have a lot of stuff they're trying to juggle. So it's been a little dicey.
All right. So let's see. You got some questions here. We may have answered some of these, but what is speech therapy? I know we've kind of gone into that a little bit, but can you extrapolate a little bit more? Sure.
So like I said, in the schools, I do a lot of stuff with language. Other SLPs in the schools do the same thing, just at different levels. So like what I'm doing with the older kids, they're doing something totally different language-wise with the little guys. Like I know down at the elementary school, they'll work on basic concepts like in, out, on top, after, like following directions, sequencing events. I still do some of like the sequencing events with my guys, but I try to get away from that and into the higher level language skills, if I can. So we work on that. We work on articulation, like I said, so making speech sounds, fluency. So a person who stutters, I would work with them. I have a couple kids who stutter. I have one student who clutters, which is very interesting. That's actually a speech disorder that it makes you think they're stuttering, and sometimes they do have some stutters in there, but it's characterized by a really rapid rate of speech and very, very low awareness of what they're doing. So that makes it kind of a challenge to work on. But
gotcha. So I have a friend who he's in his 50s now, but he was like, oh, I went through speech therapy in elementary school. And he goes, oh, I didn't like it. It was just games. He was like, oh, all we did was play games. I'm like, yeah, dude, but you don't have a speech impediment anymore. And he was like, oh, Yeah, I guess I don't. It's like, come on. But so yeah, it is a lot of games.
Funny.
Why?
So whenever you can use games with kids to get them where they need to go, it's like, why not, you know? Um, a lot of times games are great for kids who have articulation disorders because then you can drill a ton of their sound during the game and you're not just sitting there having them say a bajillion words over and over again. No kid wants to do that. I wouldn't want to do that. Like, I don't want to spend my time doing that, and this is my job. So I have done it a whole bunch of ways. Like, one example is I've played Uno with kids before. So whatever number on the card that they put down, that's how many words with their sound they have to say, or that's how many sentences they have to say. So I'm getting a ton of repetitions out of them, but we're doing it in a fun way, and we're able to move through the rounds of the game and the turns faster. Games are also good because when you have a mixed group, so like I'll have a kid that's working on R, a kid that's working on main idea, and a kid that's working on using context clues, and I have to do one thing that's going to encompass all of that. So maybe we do a board game and I have my cards, my context clues cards, and my R words, and on their turn they have to do one of their cards. So it's a good way to tie everything together. It's like making a soup. You can just put everything in it. You're like, okay,
baby, you got a
we're
stew
good.
going.
Yeah, you got a stew going. Exactly.
All right. I guess we touched on this a little bit. How has virtual learning affected speech therapy with the kids?
So I did touch on it a little bit, but something else I guess I should say is that it's been a really good lesson, I think, for many of them, if not all of them, in independence and in keeping track of their own schedule and using a calendar, which most of them don't do. Like if you had asked these kids 3 weeks ago, most of them would have told you, oh, no, I don't use my agenda. Like they don't write their homework down. It's just those executive functioning skills that we're trying to build in them. And I feel like this has been a true test of that. Like they've had to. Otherwise, you know, their parents can't keep track of 3 kids' schedules. That's insane. They can try, but something's going to slip. So when you're in middle school, it's a good time to start working on that stuff. So that's been really nice. And I feel like I've seen kids in the video calls being much more, I guess, in control of their learning. You know, they'll ask questions if they need to. They're making sure they understand when we're meeting next. It's been really good. Like there's just this higher level of independence in that sense. So there have definitely been positives that have come out of this, for sure.
I think so. And I think it's going to teach people, for the most part, you know, I think it's going to show schools and hopefully show businesses that, oh, all right, students and employees can do this kind of work from home kind of thing, you know, in extenuating circumstances such as this. Something else very interesting. 3 of the gentlemen in the studio that I work in, 3 of us are married to speech therapists, SLPs. What is that about? What do you think?
Well, I guess I don't know if opposites attract is the right phrase to use, but like you guys are doing something that is so different from what we're doing, and both are awesome.
They're both technical. They
are both technical. That's
except
true.
yours leans more towards
like the medical,
and mine leans more towards engineering. Yeah.
Right.
Very,
that's
very
true.
Interesting.
That's true.
3 of us married to SLPs.
Yeah, it's so funny. I remember when we were dating and I was meeting your friends and you were like, his wife's an SLP. His wife's an SLP.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Crazy.
It's really funny. Mrs. Waz asked a question.
Oh, good.
I'm
Let's hear
also
it.
playing moderator this evening.
Yep.
She said, what's your favorite age to work with? My favorite age to work with, I didn't want to work with middle schoolers, but that was the first job I ever got. So I just kind of found this by chance, or really by divine intervention, honestly. And I ended up loving it. So I did try working with the little guys during the extended school year program a couple summers ago, and I only did half days, I think 4 days a week. And I was like, I cannot do this.
Exhausting, I bet.
It was rough. I give those speech therapists so much credit.
And you trained with some in college or grad school. You trained with some younger kids, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've had a lot of clinical experience with younger kids, and there are things about it that I really like. But I think just the the kids are so little but have so many things going on, like intense behavioral stuff, really, really limited language. It's just really tough. Like, you need to know what you're doing with those guys. And I just think I didn't have that kind of training, just because I was really only in my second year of working at that point.
Learning how to do it.
Yeah. So the people who do work with them are awesome. They're fantastic. And I give them, like I said, a ton of credit, because I think it's a really, really, really tough thing. Like, my age group has its challenges, but it's more like they're kind of angsty. They have other stuff going on. I mean, you do start to see anxiety and depression, which is really sad, at a higher rate at this age group. But I just really like this age. I feel like it's such a cool window. Like, from 6th grade to 8th grade, they changed so much, because now I've been able to see that, because I've been in the one district for 3 years. So my first 6th graders ever are now my 8th graders, and they're so different than they were when I met them.
Sure.
And it's just really cool. I feel like I'm watching them grow up.
Oh, like a mama. Which we're going to get into mama stuff soon. But first, I just want to do one thing. For anyone out there who is considering becoming an SLP, I want you to tell them a little bit, because college, you're a JMU grad, and then you went to SUNY Plattsburgh for graduate. But at JMU, you knew you wanted to do become an SLP, but were there many SLP type courses, or was that all reserved for grad school?
So, I mean, I think most programs work this way, if not all. Yeah, I don't know why I said most. All undergraduate programs for speech work this way. So what I did, the way it worked at JMU, is you major in communication sciences and disorders. And within that, there's speech language pathology and audiology. And at that point, as an undergrad, you don't choose which one you're going to do. I mean, you can just say it like, I'm going to do speech therapy, whatever, but you don't have to pick a track, because you're taking classes in both. You do need to know both. But there are far fewer audiology.
How are they different?
So audiology is hearing. And so you become an audiologist. It's a much different path. Like, you would have to go to, you go through much more school. You have to do 4 more years rather than 2. So you get your doctorate. And then you would do like audiological examinations, like you do hearing tests. You would fit and administer hearing aids. It's just totally different. You don't really deal so directly with speech or language. Like, the two are totally interrelated, which is why they fall under communication sciences and disorders, but it's not the same thing. So when I was in undergrad, my freshman year, I took, I think, 1 class in it. It was like the overview, like intro to communication sciences and disorders. And then your sophomore year is when you really start your second semester sophomore year. So it's ridiculous, because you take 3, I think I took 3 classes my second semester sophomore year. And then junior year, they really hit you with everything. And I remember I had a professor my junior year. I can't remember if it was in the spring or not. I feel like it had to have been, because she said, it was my language disorders class. It was so hard. And she was like, this is the class where we weed out the people who aren't supposed to be here. And we're all like, okay, well, we're 2.5 years in. So
do they
we need to be here.
Do they say anything, like, for example, when I was going through film school, our teacher told us, like, all right, so there are 100 of you in the class. Only 10 of you, like roughly 10%, will actually work in this field. Did they say anything like that for you?
So this one professor that I'm talking about, she's just notoriously tough. And she had told us to look to our right and look to our left. She was like, it's very likely that either one or both of those people will never become SLPs. Like, you're not going to go through this whole thing. And we were all just like, okay.
That's disconcerting.
Like, that stinks. Like, don't say that to people.
Yeah.
It's a really hard program. And I remember at the time that I went to grad school, the statistic was that 22% of applicants got into grad school.
Applicants. So they might have gotten their undergrad degree.
Yeah.
They finished that, but then only 22% of them, roughly, 1 in 5, actually got into grad school. Which
you have to do to get
in order to actually practice. Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
So It was rough. So once I got into grad school, I was like, I'm done. I made it. I just need to pass these 2 years. I was very relieved for like a second, and then I realized I actually had to go do grad school, and that was scary. But I loved it. I actually really, really, really loved grad school.
It was funny awesome. Because she was at JMU before, and then when grad school came along, she was in Plattsburgh, and I did the Google Maps between, okay, maybe she's closer. Let's find out. She was 1 mile closer at Plattsburgh than she was from JMU.
Yeah.
It was
sorry about that.
No, it was fine. Hey, we did it. We got through it, right?
I know.
All right.
We did. 6
Let's
years.
pivot. Let's pivot right now.
Okay.
I think most people know you're pregnant. I don't think we've done our announcement. People know you're nearly 5 months in.
It's old news.
It's old news at this point. Tell them a little bit about it.
Okay. Well, this is going to sound really wacky, but it's really fun. I really like it. No, it's been really cool. So just like going through everything that we've gone through already, and like all the way through the first trimester of just like every day was like, oh my gosh, I'm nauseous if I don't eat. I can only eat these things today. Oh, today
Sleeping
I can have all these
rough
fruits and vegetables.
in the beginning.
Oh, the sleep was bad. That was very, very bad.
Only in the first trimester.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't hit the third trimester yet, but the first was a little rough for you.
Yeah. Stay tuned, people. No, the first trimester was rough for sleep, and then I would get nauseous, but I figured out how to manage that. That was okay. But I think the sleep was probably the hardest thing. Now I feel like we've been in this awesome sweet spot for, I don't know, since like Christmas, really.
Let's hope
right?
It lasts. Let's hope
I
it
know.
lasts.
It's been so nice. Where I feel like a real person. Well, now that we've been doing virtual learning and I'm working from home, I have to start my day at 9 a.m., which is like basically the equivalent of a teenager waking up at noon for me. So it's great. So I've been getting 8 hours of sleep. I feel like I've been able to stay up later with you. We can watch our shows and, just actually be adults. It's really nice. Like,
it is nice. I like it.
Yeah. Like I don't have to go to bed at 8 anymore.
And it's funny. I find myself going to bed earlier because we're having more time together. And I'm like, oh, okay. Now I can go to bed with you. I kind of like it.
We're getting tired of each other a little bit.
I wouldn't say that.
We're done being awake. No, I'm just kidding.
Someone's getting tired of someone.
No.
I'm just kidding.
No. All
right.
No.
So we got a few minutes left. We wanted to play a quick game.
Yeah. Everybody wants me to show the bump, but I'm not wearing clothing appropriate for that. So what we're going to have to do is
You're wearing like a lumberjack.
Yeah.
shirt.
Yeah. Right. I know. I'm working from home. I'm wearing like a flowy shirt.
She's
and
comfortable.
leggings. Fuzzy socks. I'm not. Yeah, my head looks okay. Everything else is like, So
we'll take a picture. Maybe we'll take a picture tomorrow.
But we have our pictures we just took. We could post one of those too. 23 weeks. All right.
Game.
Okay. Time for a game. So I found this game. This is really similar to what we played at our engagement party, which I thought would be fun. We played something called the shoe game, where like the moderator, in our case it was John, they would ask a question like, who is messier, whatever, and then we would say, is it him or is it me? We both vote, and then we would see if we agreed or not. So I found a baby version, and I thought that'd be fun. So the first question is, who will be the helicopter parent? I think it's going to be me.
I think it's going to be you, without a doubt.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be you. I mean, I think I might hover a bit, but I don't think I'm gonna.
I'm not gonna be a psycho.
I don't think you will.
Say that now. No, but I'm not gonna be that bad. But of the two of us, it would be me.
I think so.
Who will change more diapers? Well, I feel like we're gonna lose count really fast.
I think we will. I mean, I'm totally committed to diapering. I'm totally good. I've got a little bit of practice, but I think you'll probably be home more often.
I'll be home more. Yeah, but still. Okay, who will be the favorite parent?
I think I will. I think I will. But I think our kid, if they're anything like me and my siblings, they're gonna love their mama. They're gonna love their mama. And I know
Well,
they're going to love both grandmothers too.
yeah, that's true too. Oh my gosh, yeah. Well, and Poppy and Grandpa.
Oh, they're going to love
Oh,
them
they're
too.
going to be obsessed with everybody.
They're
They're going to have a great time.
like
Be
Skylar,
surrounded by
like
fun
Livy
people.
right now. Nanny,
Oh my
nanny.
gosh, yeah, everything is
She's
nanny.
all over
Well,
nanny.
but when I think about the phases that Skylar and Olivia went through with the two of us, like both of them we weren't like that attached to each other when they were super little. We had like
Yeah.
a good thing going, it was okay, but they were obsessed with you. And now I
Because
feel
I
like
was fun uncle with glasses and
yeah,
a beard.
oh yeah.
Glasses
right,
and a
funny.
beard. Oh, so
Done.
much to do.
Sold. But now I feel like you have a great thing with them, but then I have my own thing. Like, I don't know. I grow on kids.
Like a fungus.
Like a fungus, very much like that.
Mm.
Who will be the better lullaby singer?
Yeah, you've got the voice. You've got those golden pipes.
We
I'm
talked
just going to
about
sing Beatles. I've committed.
I love that.
I know it's just going to be like, Hey Jude. And I got other ones, but
You're going to make up your own lyrics to everything, though.
I do that.
With the kid's
I do
name
that
and
already.
Yeah, right. So that's it. Who will be more likely to be wrapped around the baby's finger?
Wrapped around the baby's finger. Ooh.
You,
yeah, it's going to
obviously.
be me. I don't think there's really any question about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to be obsessed with them, but you're like a total mush. So
yeah,
it's you.
and I'm a snuggle bunny.
You are.
Mhm.
You are. Yeah, our
I
poor
love
kid.
aggressively.
Okay, so who will be more likely to cry at kindergarten graduation?
I think me, but what do you think?
Yeah, I think you too.
Because I'm a mush.
You are a mush. You're cute.
Thanks, hon.
Who will the baby resemble more?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know. Oh, all right. What do you think, boy or girl? Because we're not finding out the gender.
Right.
We're just gonna find
We're gonna
out
wing it
together. Yeah, we're gonna just winging it. I'm feeling boy right now, but that doesn't mean that I'm not gonna be so happy if it's a girl. I'm used to girls. I've had practice with girls between our nieces. I'm golden
Right.
if we have a girl.
You're girl ready.
I'm girl ready.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. Right now we think it's a boy, so we'll see. We'll see what happens.
And we can't pick a name for the life of us, boy or girl. So it's not like, oh, they say don't tell people the names. Oh, don't tell people the names. You're thinking, good, we can't.
Somebody tell us a name. We don't know.
Someone what?
Someone needs to tell us a name.
Oh yeah, we got
Tell us
nothing.
your name.
We got nothing.
Oh, that was funny. I have to say that. So Skylar, our 4-year-old niece, for those who don't know, we saw her recently, and she said, she was like, "What should I name the baby?"
Oh,
Like
yeah.
as if it was her job. She was going to name the baby.
I think
We were
she's
like,
used to naming
"Oh,
baby dolls, but she's
right.
like, what should I name this baby?
What should I name the baby? Like, I don't know.
We don't know, so whatever. You call
right.
her whatever you want.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, one more question, then we'll wrap it up.
All right, I gotta pick a really good one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Will the baby say mama or dad first? This is unfair of me to
Yeah,
ask.
dad does easier, right?
Well, technically, if we're talking
You should
from
know.
a huge point of view, right. Technically mama would make sense because it's a bilabial sound. But I know a bunch of kids who said dad first. So I don't really know.
Do you know what was your first word? Do you know?
I have no idea. Maybe
I
one of
think
my
my
parents
say
would say
mine
in the
was
comments.
hot.
Hot.
Like probably
okay.
that wasn't mama or dad. I think it was hot.
Right. But I'm
Probably
thinking
because I spent a lot of time by the stove and they were like, no, don't touch that. It's hot.
it's hot.
Well, I mean, my nickname was Pasta Mike. My dad called
True.
me Pasta Mike. I was eating pasta like it was nobody's business.
And you still do.
And I still do. We almost had it tonight. All right. Thank you so much, Lauren.
Thank you, Michael, for having me on this show.
I appreciate it. I hope I see you soon in the future.
Yes, let's set something up.
Yeah. Okay. We'll do it. I'll take you on a date.
That'd be cute.
I know.
Let's do it.
All right. I love you so much. I'll see you in a few
love
minutes.
you too.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Bye. All right. There you have it. You just heard from an SLP and a future mama So there you go. Hopefully we answered all your questions. We will tomorrow to cap off this week. Don't know who the guests are. We're thinking maybe multiple guests, maybe a happy hour of sorts. Get a different story from different people. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your busy quarantine lifestyle to spend a few minutes with us. Thank you so much. Y'all take care of yourself, and God bless.